Master of Sass, the Fangpyre. Jay was working on the button the next morning. Zane and Kai walked past him holding a rusty bucket and a broken chair. Sure got a lot of junk piling up, Kai said loudly. If only there was a place we could get rid of it. Jay turned and glared at them. If you don't mind, I'm trying to focus. Cole then walked past him pretending to be on the phone. Hi, Mom and Dad. Of course I'd love to visit. What kind of son would I be if I didn't want to? Jay chuckled humorlessly. I know what you're trying to do. Okay, look, I might have promised to visit my parents, but there's a lot of stuff on my plate, he said. Nia walked in the room with Irene close behind, carrying a pillow. Jay saw Nia and quickly wiped the grease off his face. Hi, Nia, he said shyly. You gonna visit your parents today? Nia asked. Yeah, sure am, Jay replied. Just about to leave. Nia smiled. Tell him I said hi, she said, then left. The other ninja glared at Jay. What? He said defensively. So my plate's not that full. Why are you holding a pillow, Irie? Oh, I just wanted some tips to improve my technique, she replied. What technique? Zane asked. Irene simply held up the pillow and gave it an exaggerated smooch. How was that, Jay? She asked innocently. Everyone except Jay burst out laughing. You actually kissed it? Man, you're crazy, Kai snickered. Keep it up, Flame Braid, and you'll get it in the kisser, Irene warned. Jay left the room in exasperation. Come on, Wisp, Jay said as he tugged on his dragon's reins. It'll be a quick visit, just in and out, nothing more. Wisp would not cooperate. Wu walked up with a thermometer. It is as I suspected. The dragons are molting. They're shedding their scales, he said. What does that mean? Jay asked. Every adolescent dragon goes through a transformation before it becomes an adult, Wu explained. We must allow them to migrate east to the spirit coves for their transformation. Will we see them again? Jay asked as the others came up. It is hard to say, but we need to allow them to follow their path, Wu said. Rocky's going east, Cole said. He and Irene went over to the big earth dragon. Say it isn't so, Rocky, Irene said sadly as she stroked his warm scales. Well, I guess I gotta go on this long walk all by myself, Jay said as he approached Nia. Sure be nice to have company. Nia smiled at him and was about to reply, then Kai interrupted. Of course we'll go, buddy. I could use a break, Cole added. All you had to do was ask, Zane put in. Irene smirked. I look forward to hearing more of your mom's stories about you. Jay glared at her. Really? That? She shrugged and grinned. As the dragons flew east, they all walked toward the junkyard, Wu playing the flute. Of all the days to lose our ride, Jay complained. That flute, Zane said. You've never told us why it's so special. Wu stopped playing and answered. Long ago, there were many flutes, created to combat the powers of the Serpentine and drive them underground. But over time, Ninjago's forgotten its ancestors' wisdom, and now this is the only one. He played it right in Jay's ear. Jay frowned. I get the lesson. Respect your elders or I'll suffer the consequences. Boy, you guys are laying it on thick. By then, they had arrived at the gate. The sign read Ed and Edna's Scrap and Junk, but Irene noticed the S kept flickering in the word scrap. Perhaps you are only hearing what you need to hear, Sensei was saying. Jay was standing there as if something was wrong. What is it? Nia asked. It's quiet, Jay replied. My family is never quiet. Irene got a horrible feeling of danger. The ninja all pulled on their hoods and followed Jay. They heard muffled yelling coming from a beat-up green fridge. Jay ran over to it and threw the door open. His parents were tied up in there. Jay pulled the tape off their mouths. What happened? Who did this? He asked, panicking. Oh, sweetheart, you came, Edna cried. Irene saw little bitty snake fangs in her mouth. You gotta get out of here. You shouldn't have come. It's the snakes, Ed cried. He had fangs too. The bite of the Fangpyre, Sensei Wu cried. Once they sink their teeth, their venom can turn anything into a serpent. It's only a matter of time before the full transformation is complete. A loud hissing filled the junkyard. Snakes began to emerge from behind a giant pile of scrap with a wrecking ball. Is that wrecking ball staring at me? Cole asked as they all readied their weapons. Yes it is, Irene yelped as it swung at them. Duck! Jay shoved his parents out of the way as the others dodged. Thanks, son, his dad said. Lloyd, Wu shouted, seeing the little boy standing on top of a pile of tires. Hello, Uncle, Lloyd said with a nasty little smile. Looks like we're not the only family reunion. I'm glad you brought the ninja. I could use some help taking out the trash. He gave an evil laugh that he clearly thought struck terror into their hearts. But in reality, the sound just made Irene want to teach him how to do it right. If we want to turn your parents back, we need the anti-venom from the staff, Nia said to Jay. The wrecking ball swung around again. Second dose, to the dirt, Cole shouted, and they all scattered. Easier said than done, sis, Kai exclaimed, drawing a sword. We're a bit outnumbered. Jay charged at a group of snakes. Nobody messes with my family, he yelled. Ninja, go! He spun into a spinjitzu, sending quite a few Fangpyre flying. The wrecking ball came at him again, and he bent over backwards, allowing it to pass over him. Ninja, go! The other 4 ninja yelled, spinning. Irene took a stab at one snake with her left side, blocking an attack from behind with the right. Lloyd, I thought I told you to stay out of trouble, she yelled angrily. Several snakes were cornering Sensei, but he used the flute to stun them while Nia took them out. Then Lloyd turned on a radio and blasted some really awful rock music. Irene cried out. The music hurt. She sank to her knees, trying to stop the fragmented images the music produced in her mind. Then the music stopped and Irene ran over to the other ninja. Before them was a giant robot wielding nunchucks that the Fangpyre had gotten to. What is that thing? Jay cried. Ed shouted back, it was supposed to be in your honor, son, but do you like it? Thanks, but no thanks, Jay said. They all ran out of the way of the freakishly huge nunchucks slamming into the ground and into the way of the wrecking ball that was on the other side of them. Oh, why'd you have to be born in a junkyard? Cole moaned. I know, tell me about it, Jay replied. The wrecking ball swung at them and they dodged. When they landed, Kai looked around. Wasn't there 5 of us? He said. Irene pointed to the wrecking ball. There's Jay. Jay was indeed clinging to the wrecking ball. He jumped into the cab and kicked out the snake at the controls. The Jay robot swung its nunchucks down and Cole caught it with his scythe. Don't worry, I've got it, he said, straining. The heck you do, Irene retorted, taking hold of the scythe and helping Cole push the robot's nunchucks. Adding her strength wasn't enough. The robot was winning. Then the wrecking ball slammed into it, knocking it into a pile of junk. As Jay came running out, Cole said, I told you, I had it. Irene reached up and smacked his head. Retreat, Lloyd shouted, and a rattlecopter came and picked him up, along with the Fangpyre general. All the snakes were leaving very quickly. He's getting away with the staff, Nia cried. Now would be a good time to have those dragons, Jay said. It's okay, son, Ed said as he put a hand on Jay's shoulder. There is still a way, Wu declared. How? Jay asked. Wu answered, part of reaching your own full potential is understanding your weapon's potential. Once it is in tune with a focused heart, its secrets and powers will be unlocked. This is not the time to be cryptic, Jay griped. He's saying our weapons are vehicles themselves, Zane realized. Don't tell me I have to ride this like a broomstick, Kai moaned, looking at his sword. Irene snickered. That would be a sight. Wu said, Jay, concentrate on unlocking your golden weapon. Let your heart guide you. Imagine you're taking flight. Jay focused and summoned an awesome storm glider. Whoa, did I just do that? He cried excitedly. Kai tried next and summoned a sweet blade cycle. Zane summoned a cool snowmobile. Cole wound up with an epic tread assault vehicle. I hate to hurt Rocky's feelings, but I think he's just been replaced. Room for one more? Irene called. Cole nodded. Hop in, little sister. Irene climbed in beside him. This is epic, she cheered. They all took off after the serpentine. Jay flew toward the rattlecopter and completely overshot it. Irene facepalmed. Jay swung back around and opened the canopy, swerving wildly, but he still got the staff. I got it, he shouted. Then his jet disappeared. He fell screaming. The others tried to catch him, arguing over who had them, but they lost concentration and landed in a heap. Great job, guys, Irene sassed. Now we get a pancake because Jay is gonna go splat. Jay did not go splat because Nia drove up in Jay's parents' car and caught him. Ed, Edna, and Wu were all in the back seat. The Fangpyre charged at the ninja, who drew their weapons and tried to summon their vehicles again. Huh? Why isn't it working? Kai said as Nia drove up. Your weapon is merely an extension of your mind, Wu shouted. If your mind is immobile, so is your weapon. Get in, boys, Ed told them. And, girl. The ninja didn't need to be told twice. They hopped in, and Nia drove off toward their headquarters, top speed, the whole Fangpyre army behind them. Once they made it back, Nia took the staff and led Jay's parents inside. Sensei and the ninja headed up to the bridge. Man the stations, everyone, Jay ordered. He ran to the button. Kai peeked out the window and said, Jay, we better hurry. Jay rubbed his hands together. I've been waiting for this moment. He hit the button. Nothing happened. They're gaining on us, Irene and Kai shrieked in unison. Jay hit the button again with no result. I don't get what's wrong. I spent forever on this. It's supposed to work, he cried. Ed came over, no longer the least bit snaky. Son, maybe I can help, he said. Dad, you're okay, Jay said in relief. Oh, you're darn tootin'. Let's have a look, Ed replied, and he bent down to make a little adjustment. That should do it, he said, standing up. Now try it. Jay hit the button. The special defense system he'd been working on activated. He'd installed jet engines so that the ship could fly. Irene whooped and high-fived him. You rock, Jay. The ship lurched, and Nia almost tumbled out, but she managed to stay. The staff, however, fell from her grip and landed on a snake's head. On the deck, Jay told his parents, We'll get you back to the junkyard just as soon as we see the coast is clear, but stay as long as you like. It's nice having you here. Take a note, Edna, Ed told his wife. Of all our inventions, this one is our greatest. Edna tossed the notepad aside. I already know, dear. Jay hugged them both.